Hello folks, welcome to the show Virtuoso. The main theme of our show is to provide insight about various career paths that are vibrant and how to get started on these domains. So today we are having Rema Gopinath as the guest. She is a program manager at Microsoft. Rema has graciously accepted to be the guest of our today's show despite her busy schedule. In this show we will talk about how to get started in software role as a beginner, how to transition from a software development engineer to a program manager, difference between program manager versus product manager, industry trends, and much more. Let's hear from the maestro herself, shall we? But before that, let's subscribe to this channel and share the video with your friends and family. Let's hit the like button while you're. Hi Rema, welcome to our show Virtuoso. Okay.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you despite your tight schedules and meetings. So my first question is to you, how do a fresher or an experienced professional to get start their career with a global MNC just like yours? So can you share your experience, like what should they do, do's and don'ts? Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. For a fresher and an experienced candidate, there would be a different perspective in which we would be looking at it. So usually for freshers, it starts with college recruitment sometimes, and you have opportunities to be part of those. But if it is not there also, today the market has so many other opportunities to, kind of apply for jobs online. And that could be one starting point for a fresher. When it comes to an experienced candidate, mostly what you need to look in for is the job description. And most of the job descriptions are quite elaborate, where they kind of call out what is that the teams are looking for when they're hiring a particular candidate. And that is where the importance should be. So scanning through the job description, understanding what the requirement is from the perspective of a hiring manager. So that is something which should probably help. And with the opportunity available today with vast platforms and even companies opening up their different career sites, it's always easy to go through those job descriptions. And a lot of opportunities available even for experienced candidates, where they can choose to, kind of pursue in their own domain or technologies that they are comfortable with, and also with technologies which they aren't comfortable and they're starting afresh. So that is also possible. So that is something which they can explore. And the job description, when the importance given to job description being that it is, first that we evaluate ourselves. How much do we kind of know that we fit into a particular job? That is the most important criterion. So once you have cleared that and you're sure that, okay, there is at least 70% probability of, making sure that, okay, I have all the needed qualifications to get into this particular job role, is where you can very confidently go ahead and start applying. And even if you are not confident, that's always okay to go and apply and see what is there in the table for you. Because always, sometimes the luck factor also comes in. So it's not always that you have a hard and fast rule saying only if you qualify with all the said mentioned criteria, you make it through or you don't make it through.
Okay. So like the job sites, like you refer like LinkedIn or like any other special job sites?
There are many job sites. You have LinkedIn, you have Naukri, you have all those things which are there already, which is available in the market. And each of the companies also have their own career sites. So any company that you put up, they will have their own career site where you can go and submit a resume, see the job description, understand what is there, and then apply. So all MNCs have their own career sites as well.
Okay. So as a program manager, how would you suggest like the freshers or experienced professional who are in SDE, how do they make transition? Like if they are really love about programming, program manager, like how would you say? But before that, like what is the difference between program manager and product manager?
So program and product are two different domains altogether, because product, when you talk about a product, it's more about what is there in the market today as a physical product or as a service that is available, and how do you kind of add features to it and make it available to your customer base. And product, when you go into the product based work, the more what is needed is adoption of your product that is going to be sold, and what are the features that are needed. And there is a competition of go-to-market strategy that needs to be followed. Because if you have a product, you have competition. So that's where that comes in. And your end user is not going to be somebody within the company or within your organization, but it's going to be a global market. So you'll have to have that mindset of looking at different features, looking at different research activities that you need to do to figure out what is needed in a product, what product is needed, how do you want to kind of have that product feature available, or is there a competitor in the market, and all those strategies need to be planned. So product management or getting into a product development is two different things. So project management is a different area, product development is a different area. Because when it comes to development, it's technology and how you do it. But when it comes to management or kind of bringing in, it is more of creating an opportunity for your product and also to be able to get back to the market and make it be adopted in the market.
Okay.
So that's with product management.
Yeah.
Whereas when it comes to program management, it's more of what you're going to do with the business impact. How does your business get impacted with the various projects that are running within you? The lower umbrella is where the projects lie, and the one that comes on the top is your program. So based on how your business impact is, what are the different projects that you want to run through, and how do you want to make a program be successful during a period of starting from right from your requirement gathering till the complete phase of where it goes and lands finally into production and then maintenance activities. So
Okay.
product and program, vast difference in how you would look at from a management perspective, because there your customer is always going to be somebody who is an end user of that product. So you would want to also look at those criteria.
Okay. So like how the transition would go from SDE to program manager?
There are again two aspects to the transition. One being, like if you say a fresher getting into program management, there is a time of role maturity that is required for that person to kind of becoming or being able to. I'm not saying that it's not possible for a fresher to do it, but then there is always experience factor which comes into play when you get into certain roles and responsibilities. So that is where maybe a fresher might need some experience if they do not have. But there are candidates who come out from the best of B schools and they have those experiences because they're dealing with projects and they come in with a managerial role. So I'm not saying a fresher cannot be doing that role. They can be doing that role, but it depends on what qualification you come in with. But the basic thing is this: you should be able to know how to manage a particular program to be able to meet the end goals of what is being set by your stakeholders, what is that you're committed to your stakeholders, and to able to bridge that gap between your development team and getting it done and delivered, and with the KPIs meeting the measures that we have already set in. So that is something which is there. So for a fresher coming in from a B school, having experience doing projects in B schools and all those things give them a very good exposure to be a program manager when they come in. So that should be the best thing for someone who's coming in as a fresher. But someone who's coming from a technical background might need, nowadays engineering colleges do provide a management course. So if there's somebody who's interested in that, yes, but then that's the transition and making sure, like where do you fit and what is your skill set.
Okay. So just a follow up on that, like what will be the roles and responsibilities of a product manager? Like just
the product manager might have different based on how the product is being designed.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah, the program manager will again see every role has its own set of descriptions and set of roles and responsibilities. But the primary role would be for any program manager is to get in the requirements, get it frozen, go through the development team with the requirements, get in a buy-in on the timelines, schedule for different artifacts that happen, like if you have doing a functional specification, documentation review, or you're doing a technical review, and then get into a state where you can go in for a user acceptance testing, and then get your stakeholders involved in that process, get the feedback loop done, close it, go back to your engineering teams, get it done, and then get into production. And after production also, it doesn't stop, because then your service or product or your application that is in production is going to be in the maintenance mode. So how is the support going to be planned? How is that you're going to add in features to it? How are you going to maintain tomorrow if the technology is changing with certain features within the technology changing? So that is basically the role of a program manager.
Okay. So like I just to have a last question, but it's like a two-part question. Like in first part, like I would want you to like touch upon like current trends of the industry, and second part, like what is the one advice you would give to a student who is studying in a college who want to pursue their career in software engineering? So this is a two-part question.
So currently with IT, if you look, there is a lot of buzz that is happening with machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning, blockchain, and everything around that. But there is also the legacy that still continues, where you have your data warehouse and all those technologies which still hold a lot of, the market share, and the industry does rely heavily on those technologies as well. So those have not gone out of market. We have the new technologies coming in, and everybody is running behind the new technologies, but forgetting that you have a legacy also that can be, something of focus area for people of interest. So there is a wide variety available. It again depends on each person's personal interest, because that is where your passion will come in. And when it comes to work, it's always the relationship between what you're interested in doing and what you're doing should really match. Otherwise, when you start working, you'll start feeling the load of you're carrying something very heavy which you cannot deliver. And that's the reason that passion has to be built in. So industry has a lot of opportunities. It's all wide open. If you want the latest technologies, or if you want to go back to the legacy ones which are there, it's all open, and it's an open-ended space where you can't just say that one is versus the other. But then, yes, there are certain which are buzzing technologies. So if people are interested in that, they kind of have a background of their education from that. Yes, that's one thing that they can start looking
for. Okay. So coming to second part. What advice you give to a student who is studying in a college right now, like who want to pursue in software engineering?
So software engineering and IT industry is something which is not only for computer science students. So that's been something, which is always a tagline that if you're a computer science student, you only have one opportunity to go out. You have to go into the IT
But
industry.
that opportunity is
But
enormous.
then, and the number, yes, it's numbers. And for anyone who is taking an engineering field also has that opportunity available. And we have seen many of the students from different backgrounds coming in from mechanical and all those doing really well in the industry. So for any student who pursues or who wants or who has the passion to be able to fit into the industry, and as I said again, there is a lot of opportunity available. You will be seeing that through your college placements that are happening, or within the LinkedIn or any other profiles, where you'll see that people are posting for opportunities. And there are many other platforms also where freshers are invited to kind of come and participate in hackathons and many other events where they can showcase their knowledge. So those are venues where they can go in, and the first and the foremost for any student is to be clear what you want. That is the bottom line. Because what I want, what you want may be different from what our interest area is, what our passion is, and what is our focus. So the bottom line is, what do you want? That is a question that everybody has to evaluate for themselves. People can guide you, but nobody can tell you what to do unless you are prepared what you want to do. And where is your passion lying? How do you explore that? And that is exactly where it is going to make the difference of starting the preparation of what you want to do. Okay. And while you're preparing, you may be successful, you may not be successful. It's out of college, you are in an industry where you have competition. In a college or university or in your own state, you only have few people that you're competing with. But when it comes to the industry, it's a wide, huge opportunity area where you have a lot of people to compete with. So then getting demotivated by just one comparison, or being able to say that, okay, I got rejected on a one particular job profile, doesn't define you. So do not get demotivated with that, or even if after 10 or 15, because each job has its own way of kind of gauging what the candidate is looking for. But as a candidate, what you need to understand is read the job description properly, evaluate yourself first, and that gives you a clear idea. And based on that is where you have to kind of define, okay, will I fit into this role? Will I be able to do it? Because it doesn't stop with just passing the interview or clearing it and getting a package that you want and sitting there, because it doesn't stop there. You need to prove, and every other day is something where you want to kind of make sure you're making that impact. That is the reason a right job is very important for every person based on their passion to do it, so that you're landing that experience and you're able to create that along your tenure when you're working. So that is very important. So for students, it would be that concentrate on what you want and don't get demotivated with failures. Failures is part of life. It cannot just happen that one fine day you get up and you're successful, or you're being successful every time, but still failure can be part of it. So to be able to embrace failure is very important as a student, to understand it is not a stigma, it's a part of life. Okay. So have that mindset that makes you more successful and easier to adopt the environment that we have today.
Okay. Yeah, that's inspirational and quite reflection for me as well. Yeah, thanks for joining, and thanks. I had like really inspirational and time with you. So I hope my
Thank you
audience
so much
also
for the opportunity.
I hope my audience also finds the same. Thanks for joining.
Thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah. Now the time has come for us to depart. Yes, this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hit like, subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you.